Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and oh boy, we're here with the Game Awards, ladies and gentlemen. You know, every year I do one of these Game Awards videos, especially when they let the voting come out. Now, of course, obviously for some people who will say, Muda, the Game Awards are always rigged. Your vote doesn't matter. Actually, that is pretty factually true. How are the winners selected? They got a voting jury, 90%. It's a blended vote, they say. 90% goes to them. However, we as fans have 10% voting power. Basically meaning, at least from my understanding, that even slaves had higher percentage voting powers here. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Clearly the jury is made up of all of the big, it's got NPR here, you've got PC Gamer, you've got Rolling Stone, Pride, Variety, everything right here. So you know what? I'm going to use my 10% voting and just look through the nominees. We're going to have a good time, talk about some video games, and then I can get back to some Metroid Prime 2. Alright, so we got Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience all across all creative and technical fields. Okay, so you've got Expedition 33, which I expect this game to win Game of the Year, to be honest with you, because it actually is such a great game. Out of this whole list, I haven't played Donkey Kong Bonanza, so I can't really say much for it. From what I heard, it's kind of like Super Mario Galaxy, except better. But, Hades 2, I like the game, but I'm not, like, super duper into, like, Hades or Hades 2. Hollow Knight Silksong, again, I like it, but it's also not, like, perfect Game of the Year for me, okay? These two games are great, just personally not my crazy cup of tea. I do love Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but honestly, my Game of the Year, it either has to be Expedition 33 or Death Stranding 2, and you guys might hate me for this, okay? I'm sure it's going to be contentious. I'm personally voting for Death Stranding 2. Simply because, like, the game itself was such a massive increase over the first game. Like, if the first game was a divisive title, the second game just, like, is built for pretty much everyone, right? Like, it gets you the combat, it gets you a whole bunch of, like, abilities off the rip. And it's just one of those games where, like, if you play the original, it just built upon that delivery gameplay, the BT combat, the human combat, more so than the previous titles. Tons of quality of life updates, looked amazing, played super duper well. It genuinely was my Game of the Year, I would say. Not to say that Expedition 33 is bad in any game. I would say that this year, 2025, probably one of the best years for video games, period. Like, if you thought gaming is dead, even the AAA stuff brought out some pretty good stuff. So, and Death Stranding 2, just my personal fave. I consider it such a massive upgrade over the first game that, I can't not but give it my Game of the Year pass, okay? Oh, there it is. It works. Best Game Direction. Oh boy, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of this. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I will say, out of all this, as great as Death Stranding 2 was, this is where I'm going to start leaning towards Expedition 33. If you guys ever played, like, a game called Lost Odyssey, kind of reminds me of a JRPG of that nature. But just in game direction and design, if you want to get into, like, JRPGs, I think Expedition 33 is probably the most involved I've ever been in a JRPG in quite a long time. Just generally because, like, obviously it's more where you have to, like, think of your timings, but you also have to really think of each party member and the skills and abilities they bring. It almost reminds you of, like, Final Fantasy X, where, like, each character, like, counteracted a certain ability or affinity in the game world, and you just have to constantly switch back and forth. So this is just one of those games where, like, you're more involved with party builds, just the gameplay in general. It's just one of those things where you're just more alert with the actual game. And then, of course, the creative vision, too. Like, if you're going to talk about the visual direction of the game, too, Expedition 33 clears basically anything on this list. Probably with the exception of, I would maybe say, like, Hades 2, because Hades 2 is, like, I'm just a sucker for those kind of, like, visual styles. But Expedition 33 absolutely wins that category. And we're going to be seeing Era 404 a hell of a lot. So, hold on a second. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. It's either going to be Expedition 33 or Deliverance 2. As great as I thought Death Stranding 2 on the beach is, I will say the last, like, act of this game becomes super confusing. Like, it's super great up until the point where you beat, like, one of the bosses that you've constantly been going up against. By the time you get to the end of this game, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it is actually, like, I swear to God, if there was ever any evidence that Hideo Kojima did lines of cocaine in his office, this game would be the exact definition of it. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Expedition 33. I mean, just from the get-go, just from the very beginning, that game keeps you hooked in right to the very end, okay? So vote for that, absolutely. Oh, best art direction. Man, it's the exact same category as before. Jesus. All right, you know, it's either between like Hollow Knight Silksong. Ghost of Yotei probably comes in close, but I don't know, man. Just the worlds in Expedition 33. I think we know what's gonna win. It's gonna be Expedition 33, dude. Jesus Christ. Best score in music. If Expedition 33 is beyond this Error 404 screen, it's getting dropped in, depending on what else is in there, but definitely a clear. Oh yeah, it's absolutely a clear for Expedition. Actually, you know what? Best score in music, if Death Stranding 2 is on here, it's definitely this, because like best use of music I would probably see in any video game is right there with Death Stranding 2. I would say Expedition 33 is decent. Like there are some really banger tracks for like locations you're in. Like I would just say the introduction when you're in like the very like probably like the first 2 hours of the game, even when you're fighting in like the underwater world that you go to. That the battle theme alone just had me like bumping it for like a while. Like I just let my controller like sit while I listen to it. And I don't rarely do that for a lot of games, but when your music is on point, I will. But still, even with all this said, I'm still gonna give it Death Stranding 2. Like just the use of music here, like just the tracks they brought in were so well curated. So I'm gonna go for that one for sure. Best audio design. Oh, Battlefield 6 is in here? All right, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design, then absolutely Battlefield 6. Like, if you're going to look at every single game applied here, like just the usage of like, I mean, you put on a good pair of headphones with Battlefield 6, man, and I'm telling you right now, you'll feel like a goddamn like soldier in the middle of Manhattan. So I'm going to have to give it to Battlefield 6 for that. Absolutely amazing sound design. I mean, just visual design off the rip too, like with the amount of like explosions and the amount of destructibility happening. And the fact that I still have yet to have a bad server day is absolutely mind-boggling. So go for that one. Best performance, let's go. All right, let's see. Best performance awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. Let's see. So we've got Silent Hill F, Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Ghost of Yotei. Okay, well, I mean, Expedition 33 has like 50% of the goddamn performance charting here. Gosh, dude. Jesus. But you know what? Unironically, I'm probably going to give it to like Indiana Jones because I feel like Troy Baker did such a good job that I couldn't even identify if it was like Harrison Ford to begin with. He did a really good job on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and I actually really enjoyed that game. So, you know, because Expedition 33 has already stuffed 50% of this, I'm going to give it to Troy Baker over here for Indiana Jones. Great game. Going to go to the next vote. Innovation and accessibility. Recognizing software and hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, tech, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. Now, always, you know, when it comes to innovation and accessibility, it's always like, you know, which game comes with the really good features that lets anybody play them. So I guess like things like color blindness, you know, the subtitling, all that, you know, anything that makes somebody who's like visually impaired, you know, any kind of impairment play a video game. Now, personally, I've played AC Shadows. Unfortunately, I've not done Atomfall. I haven't played Doom the Dark Ages because I don't know, man. For some reason, I just was not on a Doom binge this year. EA Sports I have not played, South of Midnight I have not played. But I feel like if you're the kind of dumbass that keeps buying an EA Sports game every fucking year, especially from EA, then I think that you're already pretty fucking disabled for the most part. And so if this game is still purchasable and playable all the way to the end, then clearly they have some kick-ass accessibility features, because the audience for this is, here's a certain different breed of human being, to be honest with you. So let's give EA the vote for that one, okay? Congratulations. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. All right, so this is usually when I self-report myself for not being the most thought-provoking pro-social gamer, when I'm actually like a fucking gamer with a capital G. I have never played any of these games at all. So I'm just going to vote with what I think looks the coolest, okay? I think I've seen some South of Midnight gameplay. It's the one where it animates at like 10 frames per second. Kind of like that one Spider-Man movie. Wander, Stop, Consume Me? What the fuck? I gotta wait. What does consume me? Hold on. I gotta see what consume me means. What? Consume me? Do you feel stupid, fat, lazy, and ugly in high school? Well, I did, but at least I made a life simulation RPG about it. You know what? Honestly, yeah, I'll fuck with this one. Why not, dude? Let's go. Let's play the average gamer's nightmare. Let's go. The average gamer experience. Next, best ongoing. Now, this is giving me an error 404, as you see, but I imagine, I haven't seen these lists, but I imagine it's going to be filled with Final Fantasy XIV Online and No Man's Sky. I was fucking right! I was right! You know what? I always give it to No Man's Sky, and they always are deserving of it. So yeah, No Man's Sky gets that. Best community support. Let's see, which one's Discord is the smelliest, boys? I feel like if I'm going to have to give it best community support, probably just going to give it to No Man's Sky because, again, these are the same people where a dude was like stranded on Death Island, Death Planet, and somebody came in to save that person's ass, so can't get a community better than the NMS community. Simple as that. Best independent game. All right, best independent game. Let's see. Hades 2, Expedition 3. Is that really an indie game? I guess I thought it was like a AA game, but okay. You know, out of all these games, the one that I enjoyed the most, I'm gonna have to give it to Expedition 33. So yeah, there you go. Best indie game? The best game that I played out of all this list, you know, actually, I've been wanting to play Megabonk. I haven't gotten it yet, but I've heard it's exceptional. I haven't played it yet, though, so I wouldn't really know. Dispatch, I heard, is also pretty good, too, but I haven't played it. I'm not really huge into the episodic stuff, even though it's rich coming from a guy that plays, like, Detroit Become Human pretty much day one, beat it day one. I think I'm still going to give it to Expedition 33. I feel like I got to broaden my horizons, though. There's a couple games that I missed out this year. Jesus. Best mobile game. Oh, you know, this is a party that I love, which is my favorite mobile slop. Let's see. Actually, out of all this, ironically, in the entire list, and I hate to be admitting this, I've been playing Wuthering Waves, man, so I'm going to give it that. I don't know, man. Some of these games are like really good on mobile, man. It almost feels like I'm playing full PS5 experiences. Back when I was a young buck with the iPod Touch, Game Loft pretty much kept me alive and handy. Let's see, best VR AR. Now, this is not going to be a category that I'm pretty much exceptional at, simply because I don't play much virtual reality games. I mean, I used to sleep in Minecraft, but actually playing a video game in VR, not something that's super duper there, but out of this list, the only one that I can recognize and have actually played a bit is Alien Rogue Incursion, which I love anything Alien related, man. Like, if they could just if Alien Isolation 2 could just have an optional VR mode, I think that would probably win Game of the Year before it even drops for me. Best action game, Shinobi. Oh yeah, there was a Shinobi game that dropped. Ninja Gaiden 4, Hades 2, Doom: The Dark Ages, or Battlefield 6. Hate me all you want, gamers, but I don't know, man. Battlefield 6 heart pounding, so I'm just gonna have to go with Battlefield 6 for this one. Though Hades 2 probably would have been a pick if Battlefield 6 wasn't in the rip there. Best action adventure. For the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Yo, hold on a minute, Chief. Okay, there's only one game for me that hits here. It's Death Stranding 2, all right? Indiana Jones might be a close second, as would Silksong. But, yeah, Death Stranding 2 is all about, you know, basically figuring out how to get from point A to point B and avoiding spooky monsters in between, okay? So, yes. Best role-playing, okay. If Expedition 33 is going to be in this list, which it will be. Oh, man. Oh, actually, this is a good look. Okay, so Avowed can go fuck itself. That's, I mean, if you're picking that, that should have been in the best accessibility award, to be honest with you. Expedition 33, Deliverance 2. These are the two games. Monster Hunter Wilds is good, but I don't know, man. It fell the hell off for me after like a couple of weeks of playing it, and I just have not got. I thought I was really gonna get into that game, but I just was not. Outer Worlds 2, I've heard is good, but I just have not bought and played that game. I don't know anything about it. I still really have to like truly do the DLC for the first game too. But for this, I think I'm going to give Best RPG not to Expedition 33, but actually Deliverance 2. Because I really do think Deliverance 2, like, hands down, just, I don't know, when I think of an RPG, I think of just immersion, right? And they're talking about rich player character customization and progression. There's just something about it kind of, like, Deliverance 2 kind of makes me, it's just an immersive RPG. Like, I truly feel like as I'm playing the game, I'm actually leveling up what I'm doing. As opposed to just, you know, it's more engaging than just seeing level up, pick, you know, a perk or select skills. It is more of an immersive game than anything else on this list. Therefore, I'm going to give it to Deliverance 2. Oh man, I really am like completely slapped out of here. I have not really played any of these games, as, you know, actually probably just Mortal Kombat. But since that's the Legacy Collection, I basically have already played it with the original games too. But yeah, I'm not a huge fighting game fan. I've just never been one, but I will give it to Mortal Kombat. Definitely the only game that I can pop some beers and play it with friends. Best family game. Okay, let's see this one. The best family game. Oh boy, what's the best family game, guys? You know what? If I was to play a video game with my family, it would be Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. That game is, you know what? Honestly, Imaru like brought that game up to us. Me and Kyle and Imaru played the beta for that one night, and we actually really loved it. So I'm gonna go with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I feel like if I played Split Fiction, I might actually have jumped down that road. But yeah, absolutely, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, easy family game win. Best sim and strategy. Okay, what is the best sim and strategy out of this list? I'm gonna just straight up say it. If you pick anything other than Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, you're out of your mind. The only other game that comes close is probably The Altars, but I'm a Final Fantasy nerd. I'm gonna go with the Ivalice Chronicles, although it is kind of wild giving a game an award that really technically came out fucking when I was a kid at this point. Jesus. The best sports and the best racing. You know, I'm kind of depressed looking at this list because, you know, there are times where I used to see Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, Forza Horizon even, but I'm just gonna have to give it to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm sorry. If there was a Forza game, if there was a Need for Speed game, maybe it might have went there, but even then, probably Sonic Racing, man. Brilliant game. The best multiplayer, one would say, Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, or Elden Ring Night Raid. You know, this is actually such a good list, but for me, it's either Arc Raiders or it's Battlefield 6. And I don't know, man. I'm on an Arc Raiders kick right now. It might be too early to say, but it's one of the games. It's like, you know, I haven't played a game that's multiplayer that's gotten my attention this hard since Rainbow Six Siege. So if it's already getting me now, I really think in a year from now, I'll be like an Arc Raiders stand. I'm going to go with Arc Raiders on this one. Even though Battlefield 6 was such a close click, it wasn't even funny. Best adaptation. Okay, the Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, Splinter Cell Death Watch, Until Dawn, or Last of Us Season 2. I'm going to have to go with the Minecraft movie on this one. I heard Splinter Cell Death Watch was good, but I don't want to see Sam Fisher get pinned to the wall and butt-fucked by Ubisoft and Netflix. I don't want to take that risk. I've heard it's good, but then again, people have fed me bullshit before. I'm going to go with the Minecraft movie because I saw that, I laughed at it, and that's all I needed. Most anticipated game, Grand Theft Auto 6. You think I would vote for, but actually it's Resident Evil Requiem. I'm actually really hyped for February to come by so I can record another Resident Evil game and upload a 15-hour playthrough on my channel. As excited I am as for GTA 6, I know it's coming, but I'm just a sucker for Resident Evil stuff, so I'm more in for Requiem. It really looks like, again, it's finally we're getting another Resident Evil game that's not a remake, so to speak. Even though, yeah, we really just did have Village. I want Requiem. I want this to slap as hard as it possibly can, and I want to be able to record it and share it on my channel when it comes out. Just, again, it feels like they're putting all the stops for it. Looks like it's going to be like open world-ish kind of. And I'm excited to go back to Raccoon City. I really am. I really am ready for it. And considering the replayability in a Resident Evil game, you know, I'm going to be playing this shit for... I'm going to be playing this for quite a while. I'm going to be playing this probably all the way up until the summer and even beyond. Just trying to, like, speed run it, get the highest ranks, beat all the hardest difficulty modes, and if it has like things like mercenaries or whatever, or even raid mode, God bless, if that's a thing, I'd totally be down to play it. Content Creator of the Year. So I only know one person, well, two people from this list. But you know what? I know these two guys. I know I know who Kai Cenat is. I know who Charlie is. But you know what? Something about the burnt peanut just gets me going. I'm gonna give him the vote. I'm only 10% of the vote, anyways. I feel like compared to the rest of the squad, burnt peanuts usually he's got the most exciting profile pic. He reminds me of the annoying orange. Let's go. Best esports game. Uh, there's really a game called Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Are you serious? That's not a real game. That's not real. Hold on. App Store. Mobile. Why did I assume it was a mobile game just based off the title? Mobile Legends. Let's see. Bang Bang. Bang Bang. What is this? It's just it's a MOBA. It's a MOBA. It's a MOBA. You know what? I'm gonna go with what I actually play. Counter Strike 2. Let's just give that as the esports game. I would say that I know people on. I would say that I recognize some people on this list, but I can't do you guys like that. I will say I just voted Counter Strike 2 last. Probably most likely to watch Matthew here, so I'm gonna vote him in, even though this is not my category. Let's see. Team Vitality, best esports team. You know, I do remember buying a skin for NRG, probably I think in like Rainbow Six Siege. So I'm just gonna go with these guys. Okay, they look like the most happiest bunch that you could see. Let's go there. Here's the player voice. So opens December 1st. So I guess this is when we get a new round. Now again, I posted all of my votes here, ladies and gentlemen. That was pretty much all I had to put in. What is best? Wait, I didn't vote best RPG. Hold on a minute. What did I not vote for best RPG? I did say Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Take that vote. Jesus Christ. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was in fact the Game Awards 2025, which might as well be, I'm going to be completely real with you, I think this whole event is going to be Glazing Expedition 33. Simple as that. Dude, it had the highest amount of nominations imaginable. If this game doesn't clear every single thing out there, I will be completely shocked. But you know, I've seen a lot of people molding on the internet. Something about like, I think I saw like Shroud say like, Arc Raiders, if it doesn't win, that means the awards are rigged. And I'll be completely real with you. I think there's definitely a fair bit of rigging that goes on with these awards. Remember, our vote only counts in a weighted fashion about 10% globally. So really, this whole thing that I just did was more for an entertaining video for you guys to watch. Not really for anything. The people that decide this are an international jury of over 100 global media and influencer outlets. So just remember, these are the same outlets that were jerking off Black Ops 7 not a few days ago. And we all know how trash that game is, apparently. So ladies and gentlemen, that's the Game Awards 2025. Gave me a chance to talk about some video games, and overall, I think it's probably been one of the best years for video games. So I can't sit here and honestly say that it was really bad whatsoever. I think all things considered, whether you're an indie fan, a AAA fan, whether you like multiplayer, RPGs, life sim games, I think this year alone has something for everybody. And every genre has pretty much gotten one of its like peak releases. So I can't say that it's been a bad year for gaming, man. Overall, it's been pretty damn good. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it, I am out.